9:10 this morning, and happening tonight and tomorrow, the Comedy at the Carlson is hosting actor and comedian Billy Gardell.
Yeah, we're excited this morning because he stopped by our studio getting ready for his performances to talk a little bit about the show. Good morning. Thanks for being here today.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
This is not your first time in Rochester. We were talking about it.
No, years ago when I was on Mike and Molly, I'm the same guy, just less calories. I did a theater here many years ago, and then I did my second show, and then I was out of stand-up for about 3 years, and then unfortunately I thought I was done, and then the bug just won't leave you alone, so I kind of got back into it, and I'm working on a new hour, and I came up in the club area, the independent club area, and this one I'd heard great things about at the Carlson, and we had our first show there last night. It was great. And so I'm in the middle of that rebuild process. It's like starting a band over, but you already know how to play guitar. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
So when you go from television stardom and that whole lifestyle back to the stand-up comedy lifestyle, after taking some time off there in between, there's a readjustment period. Did you find you made any changes to what you found funny, what you used as jokes?
Well, yeah, I think you got to keep evolving, and for me, it's always been right about what's going on in my life. So I try to find my thread for what I want to do in my hour, and for me, I break it into four, like a football game: first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and it's obviously I want to address the health change. You know, I went from a young Jackie Gleason to an old Paul Newman, and then I talk about that and what that takes, and then I do a section now because I have a 21-year-old, and I do a section where I want these kids to know there's an adult rooting for them. I think it's low-hanging fruit to rip on these kids. They need leadership and somebody to look to now more than any other time in history. I mean, the world's a mess. These kids need to know that someone's rooting for them. I mean, we raised a generation of house cats, and now we're mad at the way they act, that we have a part in that. And then, and I've been married for 25 years, and my wife and I have made it to the sweet spot.
Congratulations.
Talking about that. And then the last 15 minutes is about my hero, my dad.
It sounds like you touch on a little bit of everything.
I touch on things that connect us because I think that's what we need right now. We're very good at opposing each other. We're very good at yelling at each other. And I think a reminder of common threads, at least for me, what I'm trying to do, I think that's important.
As you sit here and describe those four quarters, it comes across as something that's very heartwarming, reminiscent for you. How do you find the funny in that, and something that also can be so real?
Well, I try to find the service in it. Like my dad used to say, if you can make somebody laugh and take them out of their problem, even for a little bit, you bless them. And I thought that was the most profound thing anybody ever said. He told me that when I was 10. And then we took a couple more steps, and he said, that way you ain't got to go to church. Get all your work out of the way. And I was like, you know what? I think he's on to something. So I kind of look at it as service. And like I said, I'm not trying to enlighten anybody, or I'm not being on any kind of soapbox. I'm just saying, hey, man, we have more in common than we're mentioning anymore. And so that feels authentic to me. And I'm a Gen Xer, so I can't talk about something that is fake. I can't talk about something that's not real to me. So I find those things that are important to me, and I think that's why comedy is so beautiful. It's like jazz. Everybody plays it a little bit different. We all got to play the same notes, but it's how you tune your instrument. So for me, that's always kind of my journey.
While you've been doing this tour and going around and performing your show, has it evolved at all? Have you decided, okay, I want to talk a little bit more about this, I want to take this part out?
Yeah, it's a constant evolution. And I had to get used to a bunch of different things. Like, I used to be big, and I had that big stage presence, so I had to adjust to that. You know, I used to be the, get out of the way. Now it's like, I'm sorry, did I bump you? So I had to reverse that polarity, but it's in finding those moments and talking about that journey and how your life changes and evolves and that stuff. It's shared experience. That's what connects us. And so if I'm talking about what I'm doing, it's not inauthentic, and I like that.
How do you know what is it that tells you that it works? Is it just the laugh of, well, yeah, obviously, but is it the laugh of just
right away.
Just one audience, or do you have a barometer where you know, it's got to be this city laughed, and this city laughed?
I think the puzzle that you work on is to be funny everywhere. Is can you do something that's funny in Florida, something that's funny in Michigan, something that's funny in New York, something that's funny in Kansas City. So it's fun, and again, it comes back to that common thread. Can you find the common thread? And for me, that's what I do. Other people do different things.
Well, I mean, you seem to be doing it again because you're selling out places you go.
I'm getting there. I'm starting to come back. When I first came back out, you know, these kids aren't watching TV, so you had to get in the phone. So I'm working. I just got to the internet. I'm that guy. Every time I'm like, I'm old, I'm posting, go around. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's the fun part of this. That's the fun part of this. Plus, you know, my wife and I have been married 25 years, so she likes it when I go on the road for a couple days. You know, that's good for us.
Everybody needs their alone time.
We come back missing each other. Exactly.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you so much for coming in. Don't go anywhere. You're staying here. We've got one more segment.
All right, great.
You don't go anywhere either. You can get tickets. We'll post all of that information regardless on our website, foxrochester.com. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow, 7 and 9 o'clock. You don't want to. One show.
I don't do it
one show. We don't do second shows.
Not for Friday.
No, not for Billy Gardell either. He's too good for that. We're back right after this.
Good afternoon. I'm here for tutoring with Sheldon.
Ow! During the first break when you were here, you were talking about how this is, you've got somebody working social media for you.
Yeah.
Because
it's like that
admittedly
squeaky
new to
voice
the
kid
internet.
in The Simpsons. Mr. Gardell, could you please put up more I love putting my stand-up out there. I have trouble with the, you know, hey, everybody, I'm having a coffee. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were saying
I need a
before,
Silkwood shower after that. What's that?
you like to be authentic. You need to be authentic.
Try to be.
And it, you know,
Yeah,
there's no point in posting that
No,
stuff if it's not you.
and you know, in Gen X, we were all taught that was fake and you shouldn't do that, and I still agree with that. So I just try to do things that are interesting and entertaining. That's what I try to do.
I want to talk about the switch from sitcoms to now being on the road. What's that been like for you?
Well, it's it's a joy to be back doing stand-up. I was absolutely spoiled. Like I said, I did back-to-back sitcoms, which I just got beat up with the lucky stick, you know what I mean? But I've been doing stand-up since 1987, and I think once a comic, always a comic. Like I said, I took 3 years off to get healthy, and then I thought I was done, but that itch just came back, and it is very fulfilling to still go out and just be you against the audience and see if you can win them over. That's still a great thing for me. And to try to find a new audience where I'm at in my career that's the challenge. I think as an artist, you got to keep evolving, keep pushing, and keep trying to become something better or different or something original. But that's the hardest one.
Outside of finding that
Wait, she had a question.
Oh.
No, I didn't. No, I'm good.
You had the...
I'm all good. Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You have no trouble with energy. I can see that.
I know. I'm
You make coffee nervous.
You got a point.
I wish I was that awake.
You know, now I lost my train of thought.
Well, there we go.
Now I don't know what I was going to say. No, you mentioned finding that new audience.
Yes.
Is there an end game with that? Is there a goal with? Is it a Netflix special? Is it an HBO special? Are comedians gunning for that, or is it something different for you at this point in your career?
No, I think it's a special is usually your calling card, you know, when you get to that place. And I'm going to shoot for one next year. I think I would like to do one on either Netflix or Hulu. I think Hulu's doing some great stuff. And it feels like there's a lot of them on Netflix right now, so I think I'd rather be somewhere where there's not as many, because I think it stands out a little more. And but that special is the gateway to bigger crowds, bigger openings. And the idea now that it's seen around the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, even when I was at the height of television, you couldn't go over to, you know, Spain or Italy and do a gig. But now, because of the streaming and the internet all over the world, these guys are touring the world. And I thought, that might be a minute. You might as well shoot for that. I may end up just here. I don't know. But that's the beauty of it. That's the fun part of the adventure. And leaving the sitcom world allowed me the freedom to be able to do all of that because of the success there. So I get to go wherever I want. And right now, I'm in the clubs, and hopefully something big happens. If not, I've been blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about taking that time off to get healthy. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that and what that journey was like, because it's been remarkable.
I lost 173 pounds, and but I had to. I was in some serious health. I didn't do it to look better. I did it for health reasons. I had type 2 diabetes. I had all this other stuff. There you go. And then you know, COVID hit, and that first wave of COVID, I had all the, you know, overweight, type 2 diabetes. At the time, I was a smoker, sleep apnea, asthma. I was like, bingo, I got them all. So I just went in the house and got healthy. And so that journey has been fantastic, but it's also changed me. Like, I literally made myself unrecognizable. I came out of television, nobody's watching TV. I made myself unrecognizable, and I hadn't done it in 3 years. Got them right where I want them. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, you're stepping on stage a new man, and it's kind of like but you're also stepping on stage having not done it for a while, so you do have to reinvent yourself a bit.
Yeah, and I think as an artist, that's your job. And in the acting side, what I'm trying to do now is, I just did an independent film called The Vortex, which is on Amazon Prime right now, and it's about a gambling addict who was a comic in the 80s at the MGM Casino, and there was a fire, nobody ever knows why, and we kind of took some artistic liberty. This may have been the thing that happened, and it kind of has a weird spiritual choice to get out of his addiction that may have caused the fire, we don't know. And it's a fun little movie. But I'm doing that because you also have to show the industry, like when you've been a sitcom guy forever, if you want to do something different, you have to go do something different to kind of show them before those doors open. But I would like to try my hand in dramatic roles. So while I'm doing my stand-up, I'm focusing on dramatic roles out in Los Angeles, and that's what I'm shooting for next. Because again, you got to keep stretching and growing, you know, grow or die. You know, that's it.
Love that.
Yeah. Billy, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you guys.
time.
I appreciate you very much.
We appreciate you sticking around for 2 segments. Don't go
spoiled.
anywhere. You've got enough. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You're done. You're done. I
You want me to do the weather?
Yeah,
Well,
why not?
you're more than welcome. He's actually not in the studio right now, so you could take over. Billy Gardell, thank you
Thank you
again.
guys. I appreciate
One
it.
show tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. Comedy at the Carlson, Fox Rochester.
almost sold out,
Ticket
so.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost sold out. Get them while they're hot.